try to make this one quick here. We left around 2:30 this morning, got here around 9:30, drove down the very narrow road, and then at the end was this guy just waiting to set out named Steve. We had a good conversation, sparked up a little friendship, and we agreed that we'd go camping during the night. Then as we were doing the portage from Pond Lake to Obabika Lake, we both double carried, and he had a little troubles with the lodge. I admit it was kind of confusing. We might have been trespassing, I don't know. But that's eventually I said I would just go on ahead, wait, and he'd catch up with his faster canoe, and I thought he'd be there in no time. But that's when a storm hit, and when I was on the lake, and I think that held him back. I don't even know if he's on Obabika yet. It's getting scary out here. The waves are getting really big. And I've never had waves this big coming from behind before. We're just moving. I think I should get off this water. But anyways, we lost ways, and so now we're both camping solo again. But yeah, encountered some high winds, rain, even some lightning and thunder out here on Obabika. The lightning was pretty distant, but I kept an eye on it. Anyways, it was a long, cold, wet day. Temagami is absolutely beautiful. I love being here, but this is one of the, this wasn't a grand day. There was a lot of lows. Got my gloves, wasn't really ready for the cold. My seat broke. Like, come on. Man, that sucked. But so far I've been just using the stern seat and just paddling it like that. It's a lot more canoe to handle because you got way more footage from the back that you got to handle, but so far it's been working. With those great big rollers I was on today, just surfing my way here. I got a lot farther than I expected to, but when you got wind like that, you just go with it. Even though there were big waves and I should have pulled off sooner, I kind of couldn't either, because I'd go flying by a campsite and be like, I can't get out safely. Anyways, we got this fire going, we got all set up. It's been an exhausting day. At least I'm dry now, but I was cold and wet for a long time, and I'm also feeling warm. And I got a fire going, so we're gonna have the steak and potatoes. It's gonna be a great night. And this is the start of Temagami. Maybe tomorrow I'll see the ponds. Here's my steak here, served on a rock. I didn't bring any plates. Who needs plates? So we're trying every technique we could learn off of the internet here to get a fire going. We got shavings going. I finally got to use my fixed blade as a axe. So that's cool. Anyways, today we decided to start out early. We got up around 8, decided to skip breakfast because we wanted to get out here and beat the wind. We paddled up Obabika Lake. We're making great speed, and the waves weren't too bad as they were the first day. Look at this. Excuse me, sir, is this your car? Kinda looks like raccoons have been driving it for a while. I believe it says modern cleaners. I feel this is a joke. Anyways, we met up with Alex. That was cool after lunch. I don't know what to tell you guys, this sucks. I got dry wood. I cannot get a fire going tonight. This is killing me. Temagami just is not for the weak. Starts beating you down. First it was day one with the storm and the big waves, and I felt all excited because I thought I had a friend. and that didn't end up working. Ended up losing him in the storm, battling big waves that I shouldn't have. And today, no sun, even though my weather said sun, and nothing but overcast days, and then it started raining. It rained 3 or 4 times today, which is why I can't get a fire going. Everything's just soaked. But at least I had a good hike around the Wakimika Triangle Trail. I did the west side of it, got to see the Chiskan Cliff. Daniel was a guy who loved nature. Just loved it out here. He found his peace and solitude out here. And I remember reading that he would spend as much time as he could out here, and then eventually he decided to spend a winter in Temagami. And armed with pretty much just a windbreaker and everything else, he went and set out. There was lots of evidence that Daniel was able to live for like a month or two at least out here. Because there was evidence that he had broken into some of the cabins, and not really broken in. There was always food left in cabins, and cabins were left unlocked in case you were stranded and in need, and they believe that's what happened. Originally his plans were to live off the land, but Temagami is a cruel and unforgiving place. They ended up searching for his body because he was never heard of from again after that winter. And I believe this is the site of one of the search parties for him. And I mean, there was all hands on deck. Everyone was out here trying to find him. Hopes they could find him still alive, and his poor mother, I believe, is stationed here. And that's why there is this great big table. They couldn't find his body. They didn't know what was happened to him, but they always had the hope that they could find it one day. And eventually, I believe it was a fisherman there in Diamond Lake, found his hat, and eventually they found his body at the end of Diamond Lake. And what's believed has happened to him was he was trying to go around Diamond Lake on the shore when the ice was freezing up, and slipped on a rock, cracked his head. And that was it. He fell in, washed up on shore. Anyways, I'm gonna have some spicy sausage pasta and try to cheer up. I'm obviously getting a little hungry, getting a little hungry. I've obviously burned a lot of calories today. I know my mood is completely changed and it's a mental health game out here, but I gotta look on the bright side. This is still pretty freaking awesome being out here. Yeah, I can't get fire, and yeah, it's been wet, and tomorrow I'm preparing for freezing 0-degree weather, but I love being out here, and I love seeing the old growth red and white pine. And just look at this gorgeous sunset. We are just freezing cold today. Temperature says it's about, I think, 32 less than, or it's gonna warm up to 32, so it's gotta be lower than that, but at least nothing's frozen, so maybe it's warmer than it, I think. So anyways, guys, we finally got a fire going, which means we can finally have sausage. It's been 3 days of waiting for this sausage, and I'm so hungry I'm gonna eat all 6 of them. I've never eaten 6 sausages in a row before. That's what she said. But today we are just going to scarf them down. Day 3, I go for that great big hike through the old growth forest. I wish I could describe it in such a way that you could feel it at home. How absolutely wonderful the air feels up here. It just smells so clean, so crisp, and it's nice and cool. It's just amazing. I've never had air that smelled this refreshing, this delicious before. That forest trail, the Wakimika Triangle Trail, was created by Hap Wilson there in around the 90s. When he saw that this area was going to be logged, he built an illegal trail through it and started promoting it. that was one of the ways that they combated the logging. I don't know who, but someone went around and spiked the trees. They put nails in them so that the loggers don't, if they might get injured or hurt when they go to cut them, and it makes the lumber no good. So anyways, they did that, and they also had a big blockade and big political movement, and they eventually saved this forest thanks to all their efforts. But the trails were one of the starting points for all this. So I walked around that, saw hundreds of old growth red and ripe pine all around the 150 to 300 years, just massive trees. Some of the ones at the top of the cliff aren't that big because there's not a lot of earth, not a lot of nutrients, so they've been there for a long time, but they have difficulty growing up on top of the cliff face. But either way, they've done tests, and they found out that they were old growth trees, so that's awesome. Finally saw them, beautiful trail, got lost a little bit. I think I have to cross this. I don't know. All right, I got really lost there. That was very scary. I was able to use my GPS satellite phone, my cell phone that's been tracking my location and my map, and just started climbing up and eventually found the trail. I don't know what happened there. Anyways, I imagine a tree fell and took out one of the trail markers. But eventually I found my way back up. There's a nice pond, beautiful lookouts. So that was the start to a pretty great day. And then packed up my site, ate a quick lunch, and I realized that there was a little bit of competition trying to get to Ranger Point. So I hightailed it as fast as I could, exhaust myself, past the grandmother rocks, spiritual site for the Temagami Nation. And then I was getting close to site and I saw movement. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was really hoping to get this site. It has this nice spring that I wanted to check out. It also has a trail that leads up to the Fire Ranger Tower that has been removed now. And I really wanted to check it out. And I heard it was a really nice site from the Friends of Temagami. Anyways, I see this movement on and I'm like, oh no. Can't get the site. What do I do now? I can look at my map, I guess I'll keep going. And then I noticed a little bit of shine to the guy's head and I'm like, huh. Get closer, I'm like, are you Steve? Guys, I found Steve again! Reunited. He didn't die on the lake, I didn't die on the lake. That was great. We had a great time, we shared the site, we talked for hours. He helped me fix my canoe seat, which was amazing. I just used it today, works great. I'll show you that. Yeah, it was a really great time. I didn't film much, but it was great to talk and hang out with Steve, the guy that I just met. He's pretty cool, he didn't kill me. Today I departed Murray's with Steve, checked out Gull Island, where I guess there's a lot of seagull nesting area. Ended up checking out a few campsites. But then today, coming back here, I decided to check out a nice beach, two big beach. That was pretty cool. And because I'm so fed up with not having even have a fire these nights, I grabbed a lot of already dried beech wood and as much birch bark as I could. Tons of birch bark. And then I paddled on, and then I checked out the portage to Clearwater Lake. There's some confusion. Steve has one map that said it was like 1,600 meters. I had one that said it was 700 meters. I didn't make it to the end. I thought I went pretty far. I didn't make it to the end, and I just said, you know, I've had enough of this. I'm heading back. So, headed back. There's a nice hike at least. Lots of mushrooms. It's a little bit of a rough trail, but it's still pretty cool. Well, I can't believe I just went for a dip in the lake. The water is cold. Very cold. And now I got a fire, I'm gonna eat some sausages, and I'm gonna enjoy the night, guys. Till next time. Guess what, guys? We caught a fish! Woohoo! Nice lookout over Chiscon Lake. And eventually you'll get to this point, this nice lookout. And you see this yellow sign and you won't know where to go. Sure, you can go back up and around. But in a good 50 feet, you'll get where no reasonable human will be able to figure out how to continue. So I recommend not going that way. Personally, I'm gonna head back to the main trail and do that loop rather than try getting lost out here. You know, I would love to be the next David Thompson out here, but Temagami is an unforgiving place. This isn't Southern Ontario. Okay guys, we're on to day 5 now. Wow, man, the days are just flying by. I'm trying to do a rush, I'm trying to cook my dinner and do a fireside chat. The sun just keeps going lower and lower as we reach the fall solstice here. Changing of the seasons. So, okay guys, day 5. Like I said, we had my breakfast early. We had it by fire, so I was able to cook my bacon, toast my buns. It's delicious. Keeping these bacon and egg English muffins going for a few days now. But I was supposed to eat them right away with how cold it was. Who cared? I think my food can keep a little longer than expected right now. So anyways, I did the paddle down Obabika Lake again today. Coming back close to the car. I'm at the closest campsite now to the car. Pretty cool campsite. It's up on top of a little bit of a hill. Really bad for tent pads. At least I got photos of it. I've been having troubles with my GoPro, so you might not see any video of it. But cool spot. On my way here though, I saw some pictographs. That was pretty cool to check out. Usually on Jeff's maps the pictograph sign lies, but I actually found them, so that was pretty cool. And checked out a few other campsites along the way. Some were better than not. The island site was not very good. No bathroom, no nothing. So stopped on this island site. And there's nowhere to go to the bathroom. There's a nice fire pit down here. Be a bit windy, but there's at least a place to sit. Landing's a bit sketchy. Could not be a bad place to go for a swim. But absolutely no bathroom. Guess you could try digging a cat hole, but it looks like it's a lot of rock. And there is enough firewood here to have at least 1 or 2 fires. And then did some fishing today. Went for maybe about an hour, hour and a half. And I've had some great fishing out here. I can't believe it. I caught a bass. Get this, guys. I caught a bass by trolling. I never ever caught a fish trolling. I've maybe done it a handful of times now, so I guess not really trying. But that means tomorrow I'm going to troll a line behind me. And I was actually going at a pretty good speed, I thought. So maybe I always thought I'd be going too fast to catch a fish, but I did it today. So let's try it tomorrow. And I also caught a pike. And I had another bite, so that's pretty good. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get some tea going, get my dinner going, and see you guys tomorrow. Here's some jack pine seeds. And I've been putting them on the fire because I was told these open up in a fire. And you're getting some opening up there. So let's see if we can get this side to open up here. And look at that, they've opened up and they are on fire. Isn't that cool about jack pine? So guys, this is day 6, last night here, and what a day it was. Started out with a good breakfast, everything else. I was all enjoying the day, happy smiles, go feeling lucky. I finally got an updated weather report, and that's when I was like, oh shoot, high south wind, and that's the direction I need to go. That's not good. So I packed up my camp as fast as possible, hightailed it out of there, and I encountered some hard wind to paddle into on the end of Obabika Lake. Found the portage though that I needed to around the Obabika Lake Lodge. It's a bit tricky, but I'll show you what I got. Back to Pond Lake, more high wind, beautiful scenery. Then I ended up back at the car. Also during this time my yoke broke, and that's pretty much the only thing keeping my canoe together. Right before a portage. That was really disappointing. I managed to take my kayak paddle and rope it around and everything else and get it so it would hold. It was great because I had a 700-800 meter portage there to handle. So that worked out, thank goodness. Just some MacGyver skills there. And then I call it a portage I drove down the logging road, the old Goulard logging road, and ended up at the Goulard logging camp, what it used to be. And that's actually where I'm going to spend the night now. It's a little bit of a junky location. It probably looks like it's usually full of Crownland RV campers out here, but everyone's gone home today. Just have the place all to myself, which is nice. Saw a bear on their way in. That was scary. It just looked like a teenager. It was really mobile, young. Ran right across the road and was like, whoa! Hey. But yeah, very difficult road to get in and out of. And then I decided I wanted to get out onto a round lake, Wawiagama Lake. So I did, I paddled, I checked out 3 sites. First 2 I was like, no. Caught a nice pike, that was fun. The trolling once again worked. And then I stayed at this really beautiful site, got there and everything else, it was beautiful. A little bit windy, but it had like 3 points jetting out into the lake. Oh, it was really nice. And then I decided to just text my wife to let her know where I was, and then check the weather one last time when I saw the, what is it, tomorrow, the 25-30 mile per hour wind gusts. And I'm like, oh, just got this anxious feeling up inside me, and I hightailed it out of there. I tried to stay at the closest site, checked it out one last time, and then I was like, my anxiety was riding too high. I felt it'd be better to get here and at least not have to battle wind tomorrow. So here I am. Thank goodness I did get here, because it took me forever to get the canoe on the car without a yoke. That was difficult. And I know I don't have a fire going yet. Usually this is a fireside chat, but we're working on that. We're running behind today. It's been a long day. So we're going to get a fire going. Lots of wood around here. And we're going to do best. We're a little nervous about bears, so I don't like this big, wide open space where people used to have trailers and parties. I just don't like it, but at least if I think there's a bear, I could run to the car. Anyways, guys, it's been swell. Hopefully tomorrow is less eventful, and I'll see you on the next trip. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. So just wanted to showcase some of the roads out here, because I knew I was curious as to the condition. This is the Goulard Road right here, the old logging road that on Ottertooth is not recommended. As you can see, travel isn't that bad, but conditions can change pretty quickly if it rains or anything else. So definitely recommend 4x4 and going very slow. Take your time. It's only a couple kilometers, but it's going to take you a good hour to get down this road. Crossing a river. And then right here is where you have the turn off for Alex's cottage. This is going from Goulard Road to kind of takes you to 805 highway. So keep an eye open for it. There's a little sign that says Alex's Cot, and you go that way.